Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a business expense. Legally. So, look, we're making content. This is a stream. We're live. This stream would not exist without these two boxes right here. So, Mr. HMRC, Mr. Taxman, legally, this box of Primaris Hellblasters is not only going to melt Callum's Tyranids, it can now be claimed back, and there's nothing you can do about it. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Might end up having a bit of a back and forth with my accountant about the legality of doing this. But that's a problem for future Josh, not current Josh. Current Josh's problem is, can we just build all of these Primaris Hellblasters? That's the main problem we've got in front of us. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to all of you. Hopefully you are all well and all having a lovely time. Allow me to explain the purpose of all of this. So I like Warhammer. I like Warhammer a lot. I play a lot of 40k, whether it's kind of kill team style stuff, big 2,000 point games, whether it's just little skirmish stuff, looking at the rules, math hammer, theory hammer, the stuff like that. I very, very much like Warhammer. Now, I obviously collect the best army, which are the Ultramarines, the Blue Boys, the good guys in Warhammer. Okay, so there's no good guys in Warhammer at all. Everyone's evil to varying degrees. It's a parody of fascism. I understand exactly how that works, but these are the good guys. Okay, this is fine. Now, Callum got pretty heavily into building Tyranids. Now, Tyranids are they're easy to take down if you're killing off all the little gribblies. Is there an I-69 mouse mat? It is indeed. This is the I-69 mouse mat, the Insomnia one, that I managed to ask very nicely and they gave to me. But Callum was doing a stream a few days ago, and he was building his Tyranids on stream. He was doing a little paint stream, he was painting them, he was building them, and people enjoyed it. And I thought, you know what, Cal, I can't let you have a Carnifex. I can't let you have a Tyrannifex. I can't do that. And the reason I can't do that is because your armor save is really high on that. Now, if anyone knows Warhammer 40k, you'll understand the terminology that I'm talking about. If anyone doesn't know Warhammer 40k, I will pretty much explain everything as I go along. So the Tyrannifex that he was building, single really big model, really good armor. And what this means is my little piddly guns shooting at it wouldn't do anything. It would just, bounce off its hide. However, you throw 10 plasma rifles against it in the form of Primaris Hellblasters, suddenly you're melting through quite a lot of armor. So the plan is we are going to build these 10 Primaris Hellblasters, and then I was in town and I was lucky enough to pick up the limited edition Inquisitor Erasmus model, which I'm pretty happy with. I don't know what I'm going to run this guy as yet. If you play 40k, you'll know that as an Inquisitor, he's not bad. I don't know what his rule set is specifically, but I'm probably going to run him as some kind of librarian. I'm thinking like a librarian in, I'll class it as Phobos armor, maybe something like that. But it's a cool little model. It was one of the limited edition runs. I want to make sure I try and build him later if we have time. Not the priority. The priority today is the Hellblasters. But ladies and gents, let's have a chat to you guys. Good evening to all of you. How are you all doing today? How is everyone? Let me just, you know what? I'm going to put this screen on this screen so I can read the chat much easier. I have no clue what Warhammer is, but Josh is streaming, so I'll watch. Okay, Quackinator, allow me to explain. Remember many years ago, first of all, thank you for the boost train for kind of everyone. Oh, Twitch is broken now, by the way. Twitch is massively pay to win for some reason. So if you get enough subs, donations, or bits in a small amount of time, you trigger the boost train. And then if you get more, you trigger more, and it goes higher. Now, boost trains or hype trains used to be capped out. Firstborn, I've noticed you. Don't worry, I'm there. Unfortunately, what's happened now is there's no cap to how much you can boost this by. And if you get boosted enough, you pretty much get thrown to the front page. Now, the 50-50 split for streamers doesn't actually affect me as much, because most of my subs are tier 1, which has always been a 50-50 split. Anders, thank you very, very much for all the gifted tier 1 subs. That's remarkably kind of you, and I think that boosts us into the next train. Right, someone's just mentioned, what keyboard is that? Right, I need to have a very serious conversation with all of you, okay? First of all, shut up. That's the first thing you need to do. My goodness! Ilandra throwing 50 Tier 1 subs. That's remarkably kind of you. The Emperor smiles upon you for doing this. The Emperor believes in you. Now, that's how powerful those 50 Tier 1 subs are. And I've got a new mug. Look at that. It's from the Haribo factory. Because I didn't realise, but apparently the Haribo factory is within driving distance. So, interesting. We've gone with a bit of chai today. A little bit of chai. The Emperor does protect, but thank you guys. So yeah, can I put on the Skyrim hat later on? Right, let's just discuss this keyboard, okay? People actually say to me, oh, Josh, you're a professional gamer. I bet you've got like a £100 clicky-clacky keyboard. I bet your keyboard lights up. I bet your keyboard has all these macros and things on it that make you a professional gamer. And when I say, nah, it's just a £10 keyboard from Argos, no one believes me. No one believes that I'm still rocking the same keyboard that I was rocking 10 years ago. Look, you don't need a new keyboard. All it does is push you could at least clean it. You could at least shut up, all right? You paid 100 straws to highlight that message. I will do no such thing. Right, does any part of this room look clean to you? Okay, here's how it works, okay? Imagine that out of the camera, there extends an invisible barrier that is the edge of the camera's vision. So if this is in shot, then it's within that invisible barrier. I clean everything within the barrier. If it's within view of the camera, it gets cleaned. If it's not within view of the camera, why? Why does it need to be cleaned? I live here, not you. Live how I like, all right? It's my choice. It doesn't matter. Just clean the keyboard. No, you can't make me. I'm going to make it even worse. I'm going to pop a key off by the end of the stream. That's what we're going to do. Hold your keyboard up. Look, there's nothing wrong with it, okay? See? It's fine. It's totally acceptable. Totally fine. Logitech, £10. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit dusty. And when I say it's a little bit dusty, I kind of mean like if the light catches it correctly, I can probably just... Yeah, I can... Yeah, it's quite dusty. I'll give you that. But, look, have you ever had a pizza in your room? And what you do is when you're having the pizza at your desk, you turn your keyboard upside down and you shake it over the pizza. That's the gamer seasoning right there. When someone says you've got your gamer chair and you've got your gamer mouse and you've got your gamer keyboard, you want to give it a little bit of the gamer seasoning. That's what it is. It tastes like dashed hopes and dreams. It tastes like failed speedruns. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like red and black for some reason because they're the gamer colours. I mean, it's a good thing that I haven't shown you how rainbow the inside of my PC is because that is super... I just wanted to build Warhammer. That's all I wanted. We've been live for 15 minutes and so far all you guys have done is take the piss out of my keyboard. This isn't what I signed up for. I don't like any of you. We are not... There's 10 of these to build. Okay? We are not going to be building all of these in time. You got the recipe from Gordon Ramsay? Yeah, of course, we all did. Okay, cool, right. Am I going to paint them? Yes. I'm going to say something dead serious right now. All of my models are painted. I actually don't buy any more models until I've painted the ones I've got. Okay, right. Right, so that's not entirely true. Okay? That's not complete. So we've got these, and we've got these to build and paint. And then we've got Inquisitor Lord Erasmus. He needs to be built and paint. And then there's a Leagues of Votan box. That probably needs to be built and painted at some point. But apart from that, everything is built and painted. Okay? Apart from the Inquisitor Erasmus and the box of Hullblasters and the Leagues of Votan box. Oh, and the second Indomitus box. This needs to be painted as well. Okay, but apart from the Inquisitor Erasmus, Hellblasters, Leagues of Votan box, and the Indomitus box, it's all painted.
apart from the Chaos Knights box. This also needs to be painted as well. That's a lot of... That scares me. That's a lot of unpainted plastic. That kind of scares me slightly. So, some Chaos Knights. I think there's an Armiger in there as well. So we'll do that. But apart from Inquisitor Erasmus, the Hellblasters, the Leagues of Votan box, the Indomitus box, the Chaos Knights box... Oh, and the... There's a Star Collecting Zinch box as well. Right, I might have a few models unpainted. Oh, and there's a Mindstealer Sphinx as well, because it looked cool from Warcry. Yeah, okay, cool. But apart from that, apart from all of these, I think we and the box of tanks. There's a Land Raider, there's a Whirlwind, there's 2 Dreadnoughts, there's a Rhino, and there's a Predator, and there's a Vindicator. Okay, but apart from the Inquisitor Erasmus, the 10 Hellblasters, the Leagues of Votan box, the Indomitus box, the Chaos Knights box, the Demons of Zinch Start Collecting, the Warcry Mindstealer Sphinx, and the box full of tanks, everything's painted. Apart from those. Alright, cool. Can we at least see one painted model? I mean, like... Captain Artemis is painted. He's fine. Try and find the focal point of the camera. But Captain Artemis is looking good. He's okay. Fine with him from the Death Watch. Death Watch Captain Artemis. In all seriousness, if you follow me on Twitter, I do actually post a load of my painted models often. So there's a hell of a lot of painted stuff. But you can jump on Twitter and I... who do I pay to paint it? Whoa, okay. How dare you? Shots fired. Shots fired. In all seriousness, though, no, I do have a lot of painted models. They're all downstairs. I just finished painting my Sisters of Battle box, and I've started working through... I'm actually stripping the paint right now on... I mean, I respected you before. Okay, look, the Naga mouse is amazing. Like, I'm not sponsored, but the fact that you can have that many buttons on one side of a mouse, fantastic for MMORPGs. How I did it before, I have no idea. How I played MMOs without having, like, access to all those buttons at the same time, no idea. Okay, Space Marines, transfer sheets, don't use them. Little bit of paper, don't need it. Bases, we'll need them later. They can go around there. Let's go. Let's build. I've got so many of these transfer sheet things that you cut them off and you put them on little models and Marines, and it's meant to help them, but it doesn't really help as much. I don't use these. I don't use these at all. Why does my mouse look crusty? I mean, that's probably all of the gamer funk that's put over it. So, you know, what's the best way to describe it? Have you ever... It's the gamer spice. Right, so does anyone... And I know this is a very strange analogy, but does anyone surf? Has anyone ever been surfing before? This is how it works. When you get your board, you wax the board. The same thing kind of works with skateboards as well. So you wax the board and you wax the skateboard and you build up layers and layers and layers of wax. And what happens is that gives you grip on the surfboard. And it gives you the wax that you're using on the trucks. The skateboard actually help you grind, but you also get the tape on top of the skateboard. It gives you grip. So what happens is, as you use a gamer mouse and as you sweat, and as the old skin cells shed off, and as it gets covered in years of funk, that's the grip. That's what that is. My hand on this mouse, gripped. Super grippy. And you'll look at me and you'll say it's disgusting and you'll say it's horrible. No. It's accurate. When I'm tanking or Unveil, I need to know that when I click on the Morbol fruit, I'm going to get it immediately. Alright, when I'm tanking Bandos, I need to know that when I click on the prayer altar to get my prayer restored, I'm not going to misclick. My cursor's not going to go anywhere. When I'm tanking in Guild Wars 2 and I'm thinking, all these classes play remarkably similar. I could probably tank on any of them. I need to know exactly what I'm pressing whenever I'm pressing it. When I'm playing Guild Wars 1 and thinking, this game really needs a quest list, I've got the mouse in my hand all the time perfectly. Okay? That's how it works. That is the grossest way to describe dirt. No, it's the most accurate way. Am I wearing contact lenses? No, that's just how my eyes are. I have worn contact lenses before for various films and stuff I've done, but mostly this is just my face. So, Warhammer Space Marines, Primaris, Hellblasters, Right, blah, 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 symbols, symbols, symbols. We're not going to be doing the two different versions. Right, first off, we are assembling the Sergeant. Now, for those of you who think that I'm going to just, randomly cut into all of them, no, I'm going to go through every single one individually. Okay, so the Sergeant 1A is 21 plus 20. Now, for those of you who haven't played Warhammer before, every single one of these sprues actually has numbers on it. So I'm looking for the number 21 and the number 20. And I can see 20 is just here. I'm going to try and make sure I'm clipping on camera so you guys can see what I'm doing as well. Now, remember, this stream is, of course, a tax write-off. So this stream could not exist without me doing exactly what I'm doing now. It's very important that everyone knows that. And when HMRC come knocking at all of your doors, and the taxman's like, hey, so that Warhammer, that was a business expense, you can all nod along with me and be like, yep, yeah, that's correct, totally 100% spot on, business expense all the way. Why is it a business expense, though? Allow me to explain. Callum Upton is collecting Tyranids, which of course makes him a heretic, so I'm going to be collecting Space Marines, the goodest of boys, to make sure that I defeat him and his evil Tyranid army, because Tyranids are stupid, and I am going to defeat them. Now, plastic glue actually melts the plastic and then glues it back together by just kind of holding it and sticking it on. If you were to use... How dare kill the bug, simp? Yes, that's what we're going to do. These are the good guys, right? Yeah, pretty much. Didn't he beat you this one time? We don't talk about that time. All right? We don't talk about that time. What chapter am I going to paint these Marines? Only the best chapter ever, the Ultramarines. People always look at me and go, oh, you play the Ultramarines. You play the poster children, do you? You play the basic bitches of the 40k universe. I'm like, yeah, I do. You want to know why? Because I enjoy getting new models every week. I enjoy getting a new codex every 6 months. I enjoy having my rules be broken until they release literally anything else. Look, Space Marines are the baseline of 40k. All right, they are the basic bitches, but they're what everything else should be measured against. You should measure the effectiveness of basically any army against the Space Marines. If it can beat the Space Marines, great. If it loses the Space Marines, great. Also, it's because I've got a lot of blue spray paint. Okay, that's what it is. Glue sounds annoying. Gunpla doesn't need that. No, that's true, but the plastic glue, it melts and then kind of reforms to itself. Has that V2 codex. Look, I bought the Leagues of Votan box because I'm a filthy tryhard and their rules were broken. That box got errated, like, I swear to God, 48 hours after it came out. Honestly, there was a 48-hour errata, and they got the nerf bat immediately because someone worked out, what the hell do I think I'm doing? Rev, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm building some Primaris Hellblasters so I can have strength 7, AP -4 shots, damage 2 each, against Callum's stupid Tyranids. Right, we need legs 23 and 22. There seem to be no legs on that sprue at all. That sprue seems to be very similar. Legs 23 and 22. 22 is just it. Does anyone else, who in the chat collects either, whether it's Warhammer or Gunpla or Airfix or just little models? I enjoy making models. So there's 23 just there, because I enjoy this. Oh, random tip that I got taught when I was a kid that was extremely important to me. When you've got clippers like this, you'll notice that one side is flat and the other side is slightly angled. When you cut, you want to make sure you're placing the flat side against the actual molded item, because if you place the curved side against it, you get like a little V of plastic when you cut it off. If you place the flat side against it when you cut, it gives it a nice, smooth, clean cut against that bit of plastic. See, random tip for you right there. Who says this channel isn't educational? I try and be as educational as I possibly can, but now and oh, they've even got little actual molded nibs now, so you know that you're gluing these on perfectly properly. I'm going to try and hold these together in front of the camera as best I can. Just be aware that I sometimes move my... Just shout at me, all right? If I stop gluing stuff in front of the camera, someone just shout at me and be like, put it back in front of the camera. Be a professional streamer. Do better. You can do better than this. This leg, I assume, is this one. Just got to make sure it feels Right, yeah, okay, cool. We've got another leg going. Make your camera bigger. No, we're going just here. Keyboard is the same as mine. Keyboard bros, hell yeah. Keyboard bros all the way. Just because. This channel educational. If it weren't for this channel, I would eat overnight oats every morning. Hey, overnight oats is great. I like overnight oats. Your keyboard looks very dirty. I think we all need to back off on insulting my keyboard, because like there's a line. You know, you can't just be coming into someone's stream and insulting their keyboard, can you? It's about respect. There's a level of respect. There's a level of understanding. You can't just tell a man that his keyboard's dirty. You're not allowed to do it. Do I play 40k on the channel because I would watch? Hey, I haven't played 40k on the channel yet, but myself and Callum are thinking about doing a 40k match and then filming it, and then hopefully at some point in the future making a little battle report for it. This dude is the sergeant, so I'm not entirely sure what guns I'm going to give him yet, but probably something nice and badass. He needs number 10 next, does he? Okay, number 10 is a backpack. All backpacks in the Hellblaster sprue are exactly the same, and they are just very slightly chunkier than the regular Primaris backpacks. Now, I've got a couple of Blood Angels downstairs that I'm actually stripping of their paint. And the way I do this is, if you're in England, you use a product called Dettol. Now, Dettol was really hard to get during the whole pandemic because it cleans everything really well. But if you put Dettol in a bowl and then fill the bowl up with models covered in paint, wait about 24 hours, then take a toothbrush to the models and start gently scrubbing them off, it will strip the paint without damaging the plastic. So what I sometimes do is, someone's just put Blood Angels over Ultramarines. Fanta, don't make me ban you, okay? Don't be wrong. Don't come into this chat and be wrong. You can be right now. You can make better choices. It's okay. I understand that you're a Blood Angels player. You like the colour red. That's fine. Understand that the good boys are the blue ones. This is so I've glued the little backpack to him now. Fantastic. We've got a backpack glued on. For those of you who are new to the stream who don't normally watch, I don't normally do this. I normally do some kind of weird, crazy, silly bouncing around stuff. But I thought every now and again it's nice to just have a little bit of a sit down, a little bit of a chill out. Doesn't isopropanol do the same? I think it does actually, Sound. I think isopropanol is the active ingredient in Dettol that's doing a lot of the stuff. Why not orcs? Oh, it's because I'm the good guys. Do I still play Path of Exile? As and when I can. Can a character follow two gods at once? Well, they can do whatever they want. The best way to think about Warhammer 40k is think about Warhammer 40k as a setting and less as a story. Even though there are individual stories that happen and there is a timeline, the timeline gets retconned all the time and the characters get put in positions they shouldn't be in, and sometimes even the writers forget exactly what's happened in the canon story. So don't think about it as a series of progressions from A to B. Think about it as a general setting. So, shout out from Brazil. Oh, thank you very much, Matt. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're having a lovely day. So what I would say is, if you want to get into 40k and someone walks up to you and goes, oh, well, actually, that colour scheme that you've painted your Marines, that's not correct, because actually they were there before this, and then that happened, and then this god came along, and then that god did this, and then this Marine said that, and that Imperial Guard, but then the Inquisitors came along and told them this, but then the Orcs and Tyranids invaded. Just look at them and say, cool. And then play 40k however the fuck you want to play it. That's the best way to do it. No one can tell you how to play your dudes. That's one of the main laws. Your dudes. They're your dudes. You want to sit down and play me with your dudes and they're coloured bright orange with random purple tips and their guns are made of jelly? Cool. I will enjoy playing a game with you. As long as we can agree on the rule set and as long as we both have a good time, absolutely fantastic. Now, some people, again, when I play Warhammer 40k, I don't play ultra competitively, and there's a reason for this. I think Warhammer 40k is a terrible game to try and be competitive in because the rules are simply not written comprehensively enough to allow a tournament to work. There are so many side cases of rules interacting with other rules that they shouldn't interact with that either do or don't work, and that there are so many ways where you have to sit down and basically say to people, okay, if we play read as written, this happens. But if we play read as intended, this happens. But if we also allow this to be happening, this will be happening. Magic the Gathering, amazing game for competitive play because every single interaction, every potential is codified. Warhammer 40k, terrible game for competitive play because it's not codified as well as it should be. Read as written. Also, here's another stupid thing about playing it competitively. Let's say that you want to play something competitively. First of all, you've got to buy the rulebook, but then you've got to go onto the internet and make sure the errata for the rulebook is there as well and print that off. Then you've got to buy the codex for the army that you're running, but then you've got to buy the supplement for the codex, but then you've got to get the errata for the codex, and then you've got to get the addendum for the supplement, and then you've got to get the updated FAQ for it. And it's like, just, in order to play a couple of armies, you need like 7 books. Then if someone walks up to me and goes, oh, actually, the gun you're firing there is strength 4, not strength 5, because it was errated in this random issue of White Dwarf that you didn't pick up 6 months ago. I'm just going to look at them and go, cool. And then keep playing it however me and my opponent agree is the most fun to play it. Here's an example. If my dudes are in a building and they are shooting out of the building, I don't necessarily think they should suffer any penalties on their to-hit roll, because they're looking out the window, aiming their guns and firing. The enemies, however, firing back into the building, probably should suffer a penalty on their to-hit roll, because they're trying to shoot at a window and my dudes are ducking behind it. So if I was playing and my opponent was in cover, but they were like at the edge of a tree line, I'd be like, yeah, of course your guys can shoot mine. They're hiding. But of course my guys are going to struggle to shoot back because yours are hiding. To me, that sounds like logical. Did anyone ask if I'm going to paint them yet? I am not going to paint them this stream because we've so far been streaming for 30 minutes and I've built half of one Primaris Hellblaster. This is not an efficient stream. What this is a great business expense, but it's not an efficient stream. We've got that dude now. He needs a hat. Let's just see. I say hat. I meant head. What do we give him? What do we give this dude? Do we give him a single pistol? Do we let him hold a rifle with a pistol? Do we give him a rifle while he's pointing? Do we give him a double-handed rifle? What do we give him? Now, I don't normally play models as built specifically. I tend to just say, right, if you come up and say, hey, this guy's actually got a chain axe and a pistol, but you've modelled him with a chain sword and, I know, a bolter, I'm going to say, all right, fine, okay. If you're playing against me personally, you don't need to model what they call WYSIWYG, which is what you see is what you get. Pollet. So what choices have we got here? Okay, so we've got the what looks like double-handed. We've got holding a rifle up in one hand. We've got 1B, which goes to there, 1C and 1D. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm quite liking the adding the backpack onto it, because adding the backpack looks pretty damn badass. I think we might need to add the cool badass looking backpack. So this one just here, this one that's going to have like an extra little barrier coming out of it. Give him an admin item. I am bad at the boxes, what are these? It's like streaming Lego, pretty much. Pretty much, just bare hands. That keyboard looks dirty AF. It's not dirty, it's well seasoned. That's the best way to put it. Don't sit there saying I've got a dirty keyboard. You're going to make me sad. Make me very sad. Alright, so we're going to go with a plasma rifle and a plasma pistol. This guy's going to be fully plasmaed up. I want 100% plasma 100% of the time. So we're going to go with holding the plasma gun up. So 65, 63, 64 and 65 are what we now need to find on this. So 63, so that's what one just there. I'm going to have him holding it up. How to change to a keyboard with space under the keys to make it easier to clean. Yeah, I probably should at some point, but I'm not going to. Like, I'm going to be straight up with you. People always go, oh, you should do this. And most people say, oh, yeah, I will do that, knowing full well that they won't. I'm not going to lie to you. If you tell me to do something and I'm not going to do it, I'll just say no. It's not going to happen. It's if you've seasoned your keyboard, does that mean you eat out of it? Lagbeard, it's like what I said earlier. When you have food at your desk, you turn your keyboard upside down, you give it a little shake, that adds the gamer seasoning to it, okay? That adds the gamer spice, the funk, gives it a little crunch. So you got your little pasta going on, your little carbonara, got your pizza, maybe you've just got some buttered toast and you're like, ooh, what's going to happen today? You give it a bit of a shake and you're like, toast from a few months ago. It's like croutons, gamer croutons. That's what it is. Julie's saying, stop it. Look, it's true, okay? It is true. You can't even say that with a straight face. Delicious. It's what they make G Fuel out of. Yeah, it's what all those gamer drinks are made out of. For anyone who was asking earlier, EGX, European Games Expo, was fantastic. We had a really nice crowd in the theatre. Really good stuff. Add some gamer dust to the Marines. I'll dip them into it later. It's fine. So that's 63. We want 64 and 65. I think this is the one that I'm going for anyway. 63. Yeah, that one looks good. All right, cool. So 64 and 65, wherever they may be. So 64 is a... There it is. It's a little wire. Imagine if we had some background music. I'm doing this, by the way, because Callum Upton a few days ago did this, and he was streaming Tyranids. The keyboard looks like the one guy you know, the guy who leads a simple lifestyle. Yes. Love your content. Thanks for doing what you do. You're more than welcome, Cal. Thank you very much for popping in saying hi. You can't have the classic MMO experience if you don't have an old rubber dome keyboard. Yeah, I'm keeping it classic, man. I'm keeping it classic. Cal, thank you very much for the subs. It's remarkably kind of you. I'm sorry, did I come into talking about keyboard being gamer gunk croutons? Yes, you did. You can leave now. It's okay. No one will blame you. We will all think you're a coward, but we won't blame you. We'll judge, but not blame. If you want to stay and watch some middle-aged English guy glue together some adult Lego, that's absolutely fine. You can do that. This is just overpriced plastic, and then we roll some dice and some Tyranids get melted. It's a good time. It's a good time all around. So 65. 65 is a little tiny backpack. If I were a little tiny backpack, where would I be? Not on that sprue, I don't believe. I think this sprue is exactly the same, like literally exactly the same. So probably one of these guys over here. Okay, there, 65. That's what we needed. Oh, okay. So these are like heavy Hellblaster things. That's really sweet. I'm going to be building the heavy Hellblasters. I don't care if you guys want the assault versions. We're going for the heavy versions. Move up slow. Are you making more grumpy old men with big guns? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. In fact, to do this, we need parts 13 and 14, which get glued together because they are the tips of the guns. So let me get parts 13 and 14. Glue the tips of the guns together. If I was part 13 and or 14, where would I be? I don't appear to be... Oh, hang on. Yes. Oh, all right, that is actually a remarkably different bit. Cool, 13 and 14. Loads of these here. 13s and 14s. Sweet. We've got them. Don't worry, guys. We're good. 13 and 14. I do like how it's numbered on the thing. It's like Airfix. In fact, my granddad passed away a while ago and left me an absolute ton of Airfix because he was big into modelling himself as well, and he helped me kind of buy my first set of Warhammer years and years and years ago when I was a kid. So I think my granddad would be pretty happy to know that his Airfix models are not only going to be built, they are going to be used as objective markers for some badass looking scenery in Warhammer games. It's not just going to be a Spitfire sitting in a box or sitting on a shelf. It's going to be a holy relic that the Imperium need to requisition and capture back. I think you'd appreciate that. I think that'd be cool. Because it's not just a case of, oh, you know, you liked this and I like this. It's a case of we were both into this kind of hobby. Let's see how we can combine it. So I'm going to drop some plastic glue onto these things here. And then get them glued up and held together. That's one more gun barrel. It's just, I think it's about there. Okay, cool. So we're going to push it in and hold it together. Now, thankfully, plastic glue won't glue my fingers together, which is Have you tried the Total War Warhammer games? I've not played the Total War Warhammer games yet. How old are you, Josh, now that you're calling yourself middle-aged? How old is he? I'm 32 as well, and I don't like that. Okay, Cal, I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I'm pretty close. I'm in my 30s. We're middle-aged, man. You've got to admit that. I'm sorry, I don't like to admit it any more than you do, but it's just the truth. I have heard that Warhammer Total War is really good. Yuck, old. Oh, the Vermintide games. All right, I'll give you a way of think. Visa, you can shut up calling me old. Now, the Vermintide games I find a bit weird because for some reason, Vermintide, I want to say 2, the one that I've got, always crashes my PC. I can only ever play it for about 10 minutes before Vermintide crashes my PC. It happens every single time without fail. It's really annoying. But yeah, so if any of you've got the Vermintide games and you know why the hell it crashes, just let me know. I would appreciate knowing why on earth it does this. So this is, we're basically holding this up. Yeah, okay, like that. That's a pretty badass thing. Turn down settings. No, my new PC. Yeah, my new PC gets crashed every single time. It's really annoying. It's super sucky. So I think what we're doing with this is this has to go on the backpack like that. Ah, okay. Right, so we glue that to... I'm just double checking to make sure I'm getting this. Okay, so 65. This was 65, I'm pretty sure. And that goes not that way. It can't go that way, not at all. That is definitely not the way it gets glued on. I'm looking to make sure I get this on correctly, but 65, yeah, I've got the right thing. Ah, I see, okay, so it glues on that way, but then gets added, and then the pipe gets glued kind of like around the back like that to it. So, yeah, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm seeing how this is going to work. Seeing what you're giving me right there, game. I've got it. And then I assume it goes from like there all the way around. Ah, no, it's there. Okay, cool. That's what we glue to. So it glues into that bit just there. I've got you. Perfect. Looking good. Okay, I'm going to put it in there without gluing it, just so it kind of sits in. The internet says you are 26. Yeah, the internet says a lot of things that are wrong about me. It's really weird. There's like these weird celebrity sites where they just put a lot of information about people up there, and 99% of it is wrong. Or it's honestly all just made up. It's kind of weird, actually, that it's just been made up that badly. But hey, that's for some reason that's what they think is correct, and that's what they want to go with. And I'll let them go with it. You know, I'll let them have it. Now, annoyingly, I need to glue this bit to that bit, and that's going to need quite a bit of support and being held together. So just give me a minute while I glue these wires together. Now, the problem with gluing the wires together is if I get this wrong, it's going to glue them in the wrong position. But I'm trying as hard as I can to stay as still as I can. I need some tiny like clips or something like crocodile clips that will hold these together. I'm just thankful every day that I can't, no matter how hard I try, I cannot glue my fingers to this, which is really good. I cannot glue my fingers to this, which makes me happy. You played Tyranids, instead of playing Endless Army build with Tervagons. Eros, that's actually exactly what I'm building against right now, believe it or not. See, Callum Upton goes with Tyranids as well, and he goes with the kind of Tervagon, Termagant, Hormagaunt, Endless Army build. Now, normally I'd be okay with that because I'd just throw a lot of bolters at it. I'd throw some flamers at it. We got some blast weapons going in there. We'd be throwing in some grenades, stuff like that, you know, just to really clear out those big hordes. But it turns out that my small arms fire just absolutely cannot deal with his larger armoured units. See, in Warhammer 40k, you kind of have to make a trade-off. You can fire a lot of shots, but each shot will be relatively weak. Or you can fire 1 or 2 shots, and each shot will be incredibly powerful. Now, if you fire 2 really powerful shots into a group of like 30 dudes, even if each individual shot hits, say, 10 damage, and each dude has only got 1 health, that damage doesn't spill over. It doesn't flow over. So you don't do 20 damage, 1 to everything. You do 20 damage, 10 to 2 things. So you overkill 2 things by a hell of a lot, but you only take 2 out. So if you're shooting into a horde army, what you want to do is fire weapons that are as powerful as they need to be. So if the enemy only has 1 wound, just fire weapons that do 1 damage. If the enemy have 2 wounds, fire weapons that do 2 damage. Fire lots of shots into the horde army and take out lots of things. Now, I can kill a load of Griblies, which are those little kind of little Tyranids, really easily, but I struggle at taking out the big boys because I've got lots of small arms fire, but I've got very little in terms of like anti-tank, anti-elite stuff. These guys that I'm building right now are called Hellblasters, and they all carry plasma rifles, and they can all overcharge their plasma rifles, which fire a hell of a lot of shots into the enemy, all in one go. Now that, to me, looks like it should be able to clip... Oh, look at that. Perfect. So we're getting his gun onto his side, a thing onto his back. This is much nicer. This is so much easier. For some reason, I've opted to make the complicated ones, and I don't regret it. I've gone for the complex ones. This is what we're doing. Just live with it. This is how it's going to work. So I want that onto the back, but then I want the arm thing just there. So he should be holding the gun up while this thing is glued onto his back. So that's the power pack on the back and the gun on the side, and we've got all this together. Is it better to paint before or after gluing? A lot of people will say if the model is really big and really complicated, you should do what they call sub-assemblies, which is where you build bits of it, paint them, glue them together, build more bits, paint, glue them together. I do something much simpler and much lazier. I glue everything together, then I spray paint all of it in a single colour, and then I cover the entire model in a contrast paint, which falls into the recesses and makes the recess dark, and doesn't stay on the highlights and leaves the highlights a nice white colour. So a future stream, after I've built 10 of these, might be I undercoat them all in Wraithbone white. See, there we go. We've got this guy holding the first plasma gun up now. Undercoat them all in Wraithbone white, and then simply slather them all in Ultramarines blue, or Macragge blue, or Ultramarines contrast, and then dip them in Nuln oil. Nuln oil is talent in a box. It is cheating, I swear to God. For anyone who plays Warhammer 40k, you know the absolute magnificence that is Nuln oil. I love it. It is so damn good. It is exactly how you should paint. Stop giving away all the secrets. No, Nuln oil is an absolute babe of a paint. I love it. OMG, you have a 2010 keyboard. I resent that, alright? This keyboard was made in 2002. It's coming out here telling me I've got a brand new keyboard. It's not brand new. I mean, 2010 was only, what, a couple of years ago? 2010 was only like 3 or 4 years ago, wasn't it? Guys, I'm pretty sure 2010 was pretty early. Alright, so we've got that on. And now, I've got a choice now. There's actually a choice in this book. We can have him pointing, we can have him shooting a pistol, or we can have him shooting another plasma pistol. Now, there's no point building a set of plasma boys if I'm not going with plasma pistols. He is just a plasma man. That's all he's going to be, 71. I'm just going full-on plasma. If this dude isn't jumping out of his tank and melting face with plasma guns akimbo, what are we even doing? Pointing is the most powerful move. Pointing asserts dominance, doesn't it? Imagine just getting out the tank, lugging your plasma rifle up, looking at some kind of massive orc war boss and just going, you. You'd win the psychological match, wouldn't you? Just jumping out. That one. I quite appreciate that. We might even just have him pointing. But no, I'm going to give him another plasma pistol because, and this is the reason I enjoy painting plasma. X471, I've actually already got most of those games, but I appreciate the fact that you are willing to send it, so thank you very much. But I've already got most of them, and I will be picking them up. You defeated me by doing that. Just make him T-pose. Oh, Marines coming out, just T-posing, slowly moving forward. That's how you assert dominance. No, we're going to give a double plasma, because, let's be real, we want double plasma on this guy. I want all plasma all the time, 100%. I'm going to overcharge every shot. Now, for those of you who are unaware of how overcharging works in 40k, plasma guns are slightly interesting. Plasma guns can be fired at their regular version, which is quite powerful and quite safe, or you can do what's called overcharge them, and you announce your intention to overcharge before firing a gun. If you overcharge a gun, when you roll to hit with that gun, if you roll a 1, you blow yourself up. Now, that's bad, and you die, but an overcharged gun, if it does hit, does more damage. So you're kind of you're risking not blowing yourself up for the payoff of doing a lot more damage. And I'm always willing to take that risk. I'm absolutely always... It's gambling. It is gambling. It's not gambling on stream, so Twitch can't ban us for it. But yeah, I would always take the gamble of overcharging a plasma gun. So right now, what I think we're looking at is, we're looking at this sergeant. He's not finished yet, but he's got his plasma rifle and his plasma pistol that is pointing at stuff away from him. What I think is quite cool is his arm is actually mechanical. So he's obviously had his arm blown off in some kind of battle somewhere and replaced with a robot arm. I appreciate the Space Marines would do that for people. You know, Space Marines are expensive to train. They're not going to let a little thing like losing an arm stop them. I can see the rainbow flare reflecting on your arm. Oh, yeah, I mean, I swear to God, if I hold my here, you can see the internals of my actual PC reflecting on the colour of my arm. That is how rainbow my PC is. My PC is just serious rainbows all the time. In fact, if I turn this camera around, you should be able to see... When I say we're talking rainbows, guys, okay, we're talking rainbows. We're talking all of the rainbows down there. We're talking the RAM. The RAM is rainbow RAM as well. That changes. And in case you look up, yeah, there's rainbows on the ceiling as well, okay? There's rainbows on the ceiling. We have got 100% rainbows 100% of the time. This is just a rainbow PC. I freaking love it. Now, for those of you who get really annoyed at me, and you're like, hey Josh, have you taken the wrap off your PC yet? No. Alright? Shut up. I'll take the wrap off my PC when I want to, okay? It's my PC, not yours. You don't get to tell me when to do that. I do that when I want to do that. And yet it still can't run Vermintide. For some reason. No matter what we do, still can't run Vermintide. Now we get some choices of heads. I have a weird thing with Space Marines. I never ever give them the head without a helmet. Because think about it, right? If you're running into battle against an orc, why on earth would you want to do this stuff without a helmet? What Space Marine ever is going to say, yeah, I know what I want to do. I want to charge into battle helmetless. What a dumb thing. That's going to be a headshot right there. You don't want that. You know, I'm not using a face as a shield. That's not the way it should go. I want helmet number 2. Where is helmet number 2? Because helmet number 2 is the one that is actually a helmet. Where are you, helmet number 2? Alright, there we go. Number 2. All of my dudes are having helmets on. The only guys that I paint without helmets are the Sisters of Battle, because I think their models look better without helmets on. I've just finished building these Sisters of Battle box, and you know what? Beautiful models. All absolutely beautiful models. The Sisters of Battle, really nice army, super nice sculpts. I haven't got the codex for it yet, so I don't actually know quite what I'm going to be running, but we're going to stick this helmet dude in. I'm going to twist his head so he's actually looking toward where he's shooting with that pistol. So he's lofting his plasma rifle up to the side, he's got his pistol off, he's looking forward, and he's getting ready to blast. He's actually got a slight twist on that pistol, which might have been me just gluing it badly, But it's kind of cool. He's like got a bit of like gangster thing going on where he's turning his arm very slightly. I quite like that. I want to see the Sisters of Battle. If you go onto my Twitter, you can see all of the painted Sisters of Battles, the Indomitus Crusade from the Ultramarines, and a load of Death Watch that I started collecting before I moved over to Ultramarines fully. But yeah, so here's the plan. What we actually want to do is, I'll be doing some spiffing Brit exploiting of real-life systems. You know what? The Spiffing Brit recently actually did the thing where he played with the Warhammer 40k Magic the Gathering decks. So I might be... I'll see if I can find Spiff and challenge him to a game of actual Warhammer 40k over the tabletop. I think he'd be up for that. I think he'd be well up for that kind of stuff. Now, these guys also get shoulder pads going on, and now we have a choice. I can give them a pistol if I want to, but I don't normally give that many kind of accessories, because I like just having the models be quite striking with quite bold colours. So I'm just going to go with... There was a guy at Chef Comic Con, Emperor's Children cosplay. Oh, that's badass. Have you guys seen the amazing cosplays that they all make? So 17 shoulder pads, 17. The people that make cosplays of Warhammer they're a different breed, man. They are built different. I'm suspecting some of Josh's pissing off tactics. Yeah, gently. Just very gently there. So that one is a different shoulder pad for some reason. 17, 17, 16... Oh, I see. Right, the shoulder pads for the Sergeant have a little skull embellishment on a little kind of drop shadow part of the pad because he's a Sergeant and because that's important to note. If he's a Sergeant as well, I can just paint his helmet red. That's what I do for all the Sergeants in my squads, because I actually do care about which ones are the Sergeants and which ones aren't, because the Sergeants get more attacks in melee, and they get normally slightly different weapon loadouts or slightly higher leadership characteristics. Thankfully, because I'm Ultramarines and take a couple of Terminators, I tend not to need to make leadership tests, because Terminators automatically pass leaderships. I tried to cosplay as Josh, then everyone yelled, "Winter is coming." Ah, that's because you found Richard Madden. He can't let it go. He just can't let it go. Although, you guys joke, I am told at EGX in London, the European Games Expo, there was apparently someone cosplaying me. Some guy wearing a white shirt and a waistcoat, carrying a mug around everywhere he went as a bit of a kind of tongue-in-cheek cosplay. And you know what? I respect that. It's a real shame. How am I doing this without a bunch of glue all over my fingers? Ah, right, Gouda, let me explain. I do have a bunch of glue all over my fingers, but I do what's called the preemptive glue swipe. So once I've, put glue on the model, once I tip the plastic glue back up, I actually swipe my finger over the top of it. And what this does is it clears the top of the nozzle from having any plastic glue, so the top of the nozzle is always clean, but it does also cover my finger in plastic glue. But I am choosing to do that. Like, I am in charge of the plastic glue. I am the one who says where the glue can and cannot go to. It's about reaffirming the narrative. Yeah. That is a really good cup of chai tea. And that, I think, is the first one we've got. Now, we do need to stick on number 84, which is a single shield. Because, there we go. Because this dude is a captain, or a sergeant, should I say. And that's a single shield. And that is going on to one of the shoulder pads just there. Because then it's like a drop-down defensive armor bit. I don't know if I need this. I don't know if it's too much. But it's kind of cool. So I'm going to go with it. That's the rule of cool, guys. It is the rule of cool. If you're playing against me in Warhammer, rule of cool trumps everything else. It doesn't matter whether it's in law, out of law, right, wrong. If I say to someone, hey, why have you done it that way? And they go, it's cool, then that's correct. All right, so it's a little shield bit just there on his left pauldron. It's like a little... I'm trying to get this camera to focus in. It's not doing a great job with it. I don't think this is autofocus. So a little shield just there, drops up. I like that. How will Ashes of Creation affect World of Warcraft's legacy? Visa is trying so hard to make me talk about MMORPGs. He's like, come on, Josh, give me a clip. Just say something about Ashes of Creation so I can put Ashes of Creation in the clip title. Say something about World of Warcraft so I can put World of Warcraft in the clip title, because if I can put both of those in the clip title, then more people will click on the clip. That's a good question, Visa. We'll have to circle around. We'll have to come back to it. How will it affect World of Warcraft's legacy? Well, Ashes of Creation, if it comes out, when it comes out, possibly, maybe in the future, might be quite good. And then if it is... The problem that what I'm seeing that Ashes of Creation is doing right now is they're already suffering from feature creep. Now, people that backed the alpha years and years and years ago were promised something. And now they are already showing off the game's taming abilities, where you can tame beasts to your will and stuff. It very much feels like, imagine that someone made a really good board game, but before they released the core board game, they started talking to you about all the features that were going to be in the expansions. And you kind of have to say to them, hey, could you maybe release a core game before you start giving us all the expansions? Could you give us like a solid actual experience before you enhance it with everything else? I think that Ashes of Creation sounds like a fine concept, and I think they have been very much swept up in the idea that if they don't release with enough features to put every MMO game to shame, then they're going to fail. World of Warcraft didn't release as it is now. It didn't even release as Wrath of the Lich King. Most MMORPGs release with a base core game and then add the expansions as they grow. RuneScape didn't release as it is now. Elder Scrolls Online didn't release as it is now. Neither did Guild Wars 2. And I worry that, and again, this is an audience problem. A lot of MMORPG players, when they see a brand new MMORPG come out, they think, hey, this best release with all of the features that all the other games that I know that they have and that I love. No, a game when it releases now will not release in a finished state, and then it will slowly add to it over time. Now, this is a balancing act, because some people hate the fact that games don't release finished. And in certain genres and in certain game styles, that makes total sense. If a single-player game releases unfinished, yeah, that kind of sucks. If an MMORPG releases in a playable state and just gets better over time, that's kind of how MMORPGs have always done it. They release in a solid playable state, find their foundation, and then release expansions which enhance this foundation. If you add an absolute load of extra bits into your game before you have a foundation, these extra bits aren't actually enhancing a core gameplay loop, because you don't know what your core gameplay loop is. You've just got hundreds of extra bells and whistles that are not strong enough to stand on their own merits, but also not strong enough to enhance whatever the core game is, because the core game hasn't been found yet. So it's almost like ordering a meal where there's no main meal, but everything is a side dish. I very much worry that everything is going to be a side dish with a lot of new MMOs that release, because they are adding everything and the kitchen sink into them without fully understanding that you need to have a core concept first before you enhance it with stuff. It's MMO tapas. That's what it is. People in the chat are like, we've been streaming for 1 hour, okay? I've got one dude built. Let's get the bases. We'll get them on the bases as we go. Did I ever read any of the Warhammer 40k novels? You know what? No, although I've got loads of them downstairs. In fact, no, that's a lie. Yes. In fact, many years ago when I was in high school, we had a little kind of library thing in our school classroom, and it was super cool. You know, it would be like library time, everyone go and grab a book, and this was really cool. So I walked over and I tried to grab some books, and I found a book, and I had no idea what it was about. The book was called Space Wolf, and the cover of it was a huge hulking dude in massive power armor carrying an axe, and I thought that sounds pretty cool. So I picked up Space Wolf, and I read Space Wolf, and you know what? Space Wolf is a badass story, And I, at the time, didn't even know what Warhammer 40k was. No idea. I just knew that this book was cool. That's all I knew. And I stand by it. Space Wolf was a cool book. Is it actually a wolf? Well, Space Wolves have they have that kind of deep bits from their... Who's their Primarch? Who is the Space Wolves Primarch in? It wasn't Fulgrim, was it? But, or Libe, someone. Based on the whole lycanopathy. Ragnar. Was it Lemon? Lemon Russ? Russ, that was the dude. And, yeah, they have that thing where they have the innate beast ability within them, and if they give into it, then they will turn into, like, massive, hulking werewolf kind of things. Kind of like how the Blood Angels and Sanguinius will turn into vampires and stuff. So, yeah, you've got all those cool things going on. Right, so we built the Sergeant. Fantastic. The Sergeant has been built. Now, apparently, this is numbers 2 to 7. We just build all the guys like that. 4, 5, 6 different ones. All right, nice. So we're going to give them all heavy Hellblasters. I like this. I mean, yeah, look at the back. We can either give them the wimpy little gun, the slightly bigger gun, or the biggest gun with an actual pipe going round to the back attaching. We're giving them the piped gun. How do I paint my bases? Oh, well, I've got some basing sand and some basing flock. So the Indomitus, again, you can go on my Twitter and see all these pictures. The Indomitus Crusade I've painted in brown bases, look like deserts. Then I cover the bases in PVA glue and I swipe them through some modelling sand. And that picks up all the modelling sand grains, like they're on a desert. My Sisters of Battle, I've painted them Goblin Green because, you know, classic Goblin Green bases. And then I've sprinkled some flock onto them, so it's got like a lovely, just general field kind of ambience going on to it. But yeah, there's lots of different ways you can do it. Is the dude able to see past his shield on his shoulder? He doesn't need to, Ashra. He doesn't need to, okay? The Emperor guides. The Emperor guides. Todd, I appreciate you coming in with questions, but I really think you need to sometimes sit down and think, is this something that I need to type? That's what it is. You know, sometimes people walk up to me and they go like, oh mate, I've just got no filter. And I'm thinking, maybe you should. Might be a kind of thing that you need to self-reflect upon. A little bit. Have you ever met those people when they always just... it's really weird. Oh mate, I just say it how it is. Yeah, but you're a dick. Oh mate, I've got no filter. Well, that's why no one likes you. It's when people go like, oh, I'm just brutally honest. No, you're not. You're just a dick. You care more about the brutality than you do about the honesty. Honesty without tact can just be horrible criticism. You need to make sure there's a little bit of tact going on there. You need to understand that as well. So I fully appreciate that you walked in, Todd, and you thought, I need to ask this question. But I need you to really just occasionally just really dive deep down and ask yourself, but do I need to ask this question? And if I do need to ask this question, does this guy look like a guy that's going to answer? It's okay. Having tact is difficult. All right, thank you. It's okay, cool. I'm glad. I'm glad we all got through that together. It was a difficult time, but we all worked it out. All right, cool. So let's go with 21 and 20. I'm not going to build all these. I am but a humble acolyte of Nurgle. Well, then you're going to die. And a 40k fangirl. But I offer you the Caiaphas K... Oh, yeah, the Caiaphas K ones. They're meant to be pretty cool. They're meant to be very, very, very cool. Hey, Blake, it's a real shame that you're a fan of Nurgle. What got me into 40k? Never play because the building and painting seems daunting. So, yeah, you know what? It kind of is. It absolutely kind of is. What got me into 40k was actually... There's someone in the chat right now called Auntie Julie 404. She did. But not out of any choice of her own. Out of me being a very annoying child. I was hanging out with my grandparents maybe about, got to be going on 23, 24 years ago now. And I was in like Sainsbury's or Asda at the time, something like that. Benny, so we're in space. Ben, I will always treasure those moments of us telling stories in the back of the van in order to make work go faster. I'll fill you guys in on all that later. But no, I was in like Safeway or Sainsbury's, or it was probably something that doesn't exist anymore, like Woolworths. And I saw this magazine. This magazine was called White Dwarf. And on the front of it was like this powered up, armoured dude. And I thought, oh man, this looks amazing. I'm going to buy a White Dwarf and I'm going to read through it. It's so cool. And halfway in the White Dwarf, I realised, oh, this is like a modelling magazine. But it was still cool because there were stories. And then I saw a full-page advert for a fantasy battle starter set. And it was the Empire versus the Orcs. And you got a couple of Empire riflemen, you got some pikemen, you got a little set of horses charging in, and you got a cannon, with an actual old school cannon with like a dude with one of those buffers that pushes the cannonball down the ends, and a loading team. And then on the Orcs, you had some Orc archers, and then you had some Orc warriors, and you had a chariot. And I'm like, this is so cool, I want this, it's only like £100. Which, of course, to my childlike brain, was all the money ever, and is now, to my adult brain, still quite expensive. But yeah, I ended up talking about this army set for so long that my auntie went, fine, you can have it, just stop talking about it. No, she was nicer than that. But it was really, really cool. She walked up and she was like, hey, here's the set you've been talking about. I'm like, this is amazing. So I clipped it apart and I built it, and I don't know where those models are, because obviously everyone over the years loses models and stuff, but from then on I realised that clipping off tiny bits of plastic, gluing them together and then rolling some dice with people that you like, actually really good fun. Yeah, getting ready to battle the Wicked Wiz, ladies and gentlemen. The incredibly successful YouTuber Wicked Wiz has chosen to join us. Wiz, I caught Callum's stream a few days ago where he was building his Tyrannofex, and I thought, you know what, the Tyrannofex has quite a bit of armour. So we're going with some Hellblasters, which have plasma rifles. These guys are just going to rip that Tyrannofex apart. Please clip Josh with his eyes going, this is amazing. It was. It was so much fun. Has anyone told you look like Adam from Coronation Street? Let's go back to looking like Richard Madden from Game of Thrones, okay? Let's reassess on that one. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I would much rather be compared to Richard Madden, or maybe even like a really shit Henry Cavill. That's what I go with. If you ordered Henry Cavill from Wish, I'd turn up. That's how it works. I don't want my career on Twitch and or YouTube to yet be at the point of being compared to daily soap opera stars. I'm clinging on to that Richard Madden thing for as long as I've got. It's the best. Yeah, Poundland Henry. We have Henry Cavill at home. I'd turn up, sit down and be like, hey, at least you and Cavill both Warhammer. I'm just pointing it out there that if me and Cavill ever played Warhammer, I would absolutely wipe the floor with him. I would thrash him. And in many years' time, when that game inevitably happens, you can come back to this clip right now, and you can see that I was telling you the truth. All right, what are we doing now? We've made one model. We've been streaming for 1 hour and 10 minutes. I've made one. He's a Custodes Chad. Yeah, he is, unfortunately, because he likes overpaying points for his models and giving them, like, 4 wounds each and having invulnerable saves and stuff like that. Right, 20 and 21. What am I doing with this? Where is 20 and 21? 20 and 21 are there. This is the same as the Sergeant. Should this be the same as the Sergeant? I think it should. Yeah, so 20 and 21 was still the Sergeant. And now we just do 21 and 20 for this dude here as well. There we go. There are 10 Hellblasters in total. You know the game is getting serious when the Space Marine player starts speaking Latin. That's when he starts to... that's when we start to get our librarians out. Squidmar is getting a massive Custodes army to Henry. You would not win. Oh, Jonty, I would. I would. You opened 40k boxes. Are you ashamed of your pile of shame? I showed you my pile of shame earlier. Okay, the pile of shame is on the floor. I'm not getting it up again because there was a lot in it. I will show you possibly the pile of shame later. I will talk you through all the mistakes we've made. So 20 and 21 again. Let's clip these out. You can't be discount Henry Cavill. Haven't CG'd out my facial hair. You don't know that. You have no idea how good my my graphics skills are, okay? I'm good at the special effects. Isn't it weird that I still say special effects? Is that how old I am? When someone's like, oh man, this movie's cool, I'm like, yes, it had tremendous special effects. Oh yes, brilliant CGI. That's what it had. What's the older one? There's like the special effects, the CGI, green screen. Oh yes, it had good video effects. I'm just going to say video effects from now on. Oh yes, Avatar. Have you seen that they've re-released Avatar in the cinemas? I think James Cameron is taking a bit out of Todd Howard's book. Todd Howard just walked over to James Cameron and says, hey, you know you can just release the same thing again, right? And Cameron's like, really? Won't people get annoyed? No. They will not. If anything, they'll keep buying it. I've sold Skyrim like 15 times. Oh, I see. Well, Avatar Legendary Edition, Avatar Special Edition, Avatar Gold Edition, Avatar Film of the Year Edition. Oh, brilliant. I love it. I love the idea that somewhere out there Todd Howard is telling James Cameron to just keep re-releasing Avatar. And you know what, James, he's going to do it. He's going to do it because he's a mad lad. Avatar Blue Edition. Oh, man. Avatar was weird, wasn't it? One of the most successful films of all time, zero cultural impact. It was incredible. Everyone saw Avatar. No one cared about it. It was absolutely brilliant. I studied Avatar when I was actually in university doing performing arts and stuff. It was such a strange cultural touchstone. Never before has a film made so much money and achieved so much critical praise and been seen by so many people to just immediately fall out of cultural relevance. Just straight away. No one cared. It was beautiful. It's just Pocahontas. It's just Pocahontas with mechs. I'll tell you how bad Avatar was. I was rooting for the humans. Like, when those massive mechs turned up and they walked into the jungle, I'm like, here we go, boys. Here we go. We're going to take that unobtainium. Get out of the way, you silly blue people. We need that mineral. And then the human air force arrived with their massive hover ships and their frickin' warplanes. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then the camera pulled out and the captain or the commander was just drinking a cup of tea while he was in the front of the airplane in the cockpit. I'm like, oh, you badass, you. Yeah, let's go. Let's do this. And then some blue thing, some blue fish on a bird fired a frickin' arrow through plexiglass and impaled the pilot, and I thought, that's not right. First of all, it's plexiglass. I don't care how powerful your bow is. You ain't shooting an arrow through that, and if you are, what the hell? Dude, you've got missiles. We've got... It's... Oh. Here's a stupid thing with Avatar, right? Here's the really stupid thing about Avatar, and believe me, there was a long list of stupid things about Avatar. The Na'vi have different sized bodies to the humans. They are physically bigger, and yet, when the humans link up and take over their Na'vi representation, their kind of avatar that walks around for them, they are wearing clothes. Okay, this makes sense, but one of them is wearing clothes, and it says on the jumper, it's one of those like Harvard jumpers, or, you know, the kind of hoodies with the kind of slightly arched lettering and the arched writing on it and stuff like that, okay? Not only did they have to make Na'vi clothes, they also thought, these best be branded, because it would just be stupid if we made non-branded clothes for our 8-foot-tall blue avatars. No one's going to believe that. Oh, it was just so dumb. The dumbest thing about it is, how did the humans lose?
Like, we were so technologically superior in every way. I swear to God, this would be like sending some SAS guys to take out an aquarium and losing. You'd be sat back going, guys, what happened? All they had was some fish and the power of love. You guys have got guns. Don't get me wrong, the power of love is a beautiful thing, but you had Chris Ryan. You know, we sent all the dudes in with you. You had an actual literal gun. How have you lost? Oh man, I hate it so much. Oh. All they had was fish and the power of love. It was just, I hated it so much. Right, 23 and 24. Let's continue building Space Marines. We've built one. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. It's a feel-good movie. I didn't feel good watching it. I felt annoyed. That's what I felt, angry. I'll tell you what a feel-good movie is. Starship Troopers. That's a feel-good movie. Because you start watching it, and then the humans lose, but then we win, and then we're like, yeah, now I feel good. Much better. For those of you who don't understand, Starship Troopers is in fact a parody, and it's a parody of the military-industrial complex about how it's just a massive advert for the army. And I can totally understand that it was designed to satirise the kind of military-industrial complex of the time, because everyone chosen for it, specifically, by the way, was incredibly attractive. Literally designed to be attractive. But no, it's a good film. And yes, I would like to know more. Was it just... Okay, there are a couple of moments in a man's life, probably a woman's life too, when they just know that they've experienced something amazing. When you were young, did you see Starship Troopers on TV? Did you see the shower scene? And did it change your life? I didn't even know what that film was for like 10 years after it. I was just like, what's that film with the bugs and the scene where everyone's in the shower together? That's it. That's all I knew about that film. And you know what? That's all I needed to know about that film. It was perfect. The 3 moments in a man's life: when he sees the shower scene in Starship Troopers, when he sees the Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time and begins to question everything he knows, and then he sees the Hex Girls and Scooby-Doo and realises that goth girls are the one. All right? That's what happens. 3 moments in a man's life. I was not ready when I first saw Starship Troopers. No one was. No one was fully ready. But that's a good one. That's a really good one. Why do lightsabers only have 1 meter long blades? Does the light just vanish? That's a good point. Otherwise, lightsabers could just shoot people with them, to be fair. It'd be so much easier. Thanks to you, I'm now addicted to Guild Wars 2 and took a week off to play. Good. Pinned. Good. Can I be honest with you? I'll tell you a little secret. I think it's always important to know. I got contacted because I did a sponsorship for Guild Wars 2 recently, and I did it because I legitimately love Guild Wars 2 and think it's a genuinely great game. And people got back to me saying, oh, Josh, your Guild Wars 2 sponsorship was really successful. And I thought, yeah, you know why? It's because I don't take sponsorships unless I agree with them. So when I finally do say, hey, this is actually quite good, there's weight to it. There's a level of trust, and I think that's a very, very important level of trust. But no, I would absolutely, any day, tell people to go and play Guild Wars 2. It's a legitimately good game. And I'm not sponsored to say that right now. I just think you probably will enjoy at least some part of it. Although I do agree with Blake. I personally prefer Guild Wars 1. I think Guild Wars 1 is a better RPG. I think it's a better classical turn-based almost RPG. I know it's obviously action combat, but the turns are much slower. Guild Wars 2, I think, is a better online adventure game to share with friends, and Guild Wars 1 is a better RPG that you can play through with people you know, provided they're up to the same part that you are. So Guild Wars 2 is super accessible to everyone. Guild Wars 1 is a better RPG. If I had to make a choice between them, I would probably choose Guild Wars 1 because I am a classic RPG fan. Yeah, that's what it is. Guild Wars 2 very much does feel like a chat room with a really good game attached to it, because there's a huge amount of chat. The game isn't super difficult until you get to the end game. Guild Wars 1 feels like a classic RPG adventure. It really does. Right, well, 23 and 22 is what I'm looking for now. 23, there we go. And 22.
Now, if I can get all of these clipped off by next stream, I might even paint them on stream. I might spray paint them Wraithbone white before the stream, and then we get a little bit of Ultramarines contrast paint going on. Are we feeling a little bit of painting on stream at some point? I think we could do a bit of painting on stream. I'm not adverse to that. I think maybe we could enjoy it quite a lot. Guild Wars 2 players should still give Guild Wars 1 a shot. They should. Honestly, they should just be... let's just do the whole squad now. I'm not going to be able to. Not at all. What if there was an Avatar MMO? Honestly, if there was an Avatar MMO, I think it would do the same thing the film did. I think no one would care. Avatar did this amazing thing. There was a thing afterwards where someone was like, hey, what's the music from Avatar? Can you name 4 or 5 characters? I know Jake's Sully, because they keep saying Sully whenever they talk to him. No, I can't remember any of them. It was amazing. Avatar was a cultural phenomenon. It was absolutely amazing. It was so vapid. It was the equivalent of, you know, when you were in school and there were like playground fads. So, you know, this week you'd have this as a fad, and next week you'd have that as a fad. They'd just be like crazy. Oh, this week everyone's into this, and next week everyone's into this, and next week everyone's into this, or next month everyone's into this. They were the freaking fidget spinners of the film world. They were absolutely everywhere, and then no one cared. I used to work at Toys R Us, okay, before Toys R Us was destroyed. And one year, who remembers, I mean, if you had kids, this is going to make a lot more sense to you. Who here knows what a Hatchimal is? If you had kids, especially if you had kids around between like 7 and 13 years old, a couple of years ago, you will have known what a frickin' Hatchimal was. Now, Hatchimal was like an egg that hatched from the inside, and there was like a Furby-style thing in the middle of it. And I worked Toys R Us when they were big. If you've been a retail worker, especially in a toy shop or in like Argos or Sainsbury's or anywhere where they sell toys, you know what a frickin' Hatchimal is. Those things were like gold dust. I swear to God. My manager even pulled me aside, because I was like supervisor at the time. My manager pulled me aside. It was like a stupid kind of spy meeting. And he's like, Josh, we've got 3 Hatchimals coming in with the next delivery. However, they are buried inside the pallet, wrapped by other toys. No one else but you and me can know they are here. We must then take them one at a time to the till and only sell them from the till directly. And I'm like, okay, cool. Next year, Hatchimals everywhere. Couldn't get them off the shelves. One year, gold dust. Rare as rocking horse shit. Unicorn poop these things were. You couldn't get them for love nor money. Next year, absolutely everywhere. No one cared. Moved on. The fad had changed. So what I think people need to realise is that just because something is a massive cultural phenomenon one year does not mean anyone will care next year. At all. That was Avatar. Everyone saw Avatar in the cinema. Statistically, everyone saw it twice. And then no one cared. And everyone moved on. And kids, yeah, kids are very, very susceptible to advertising. I mean, thankfully, as an adult, I am not susceptible to advertising. Right, let's return to Warhammer. Did you get what I did just there? See? Plastic crack. Plastic. If you have kids and you want to make sure they never do drugs, teach them how to play Warhammer and Magic the Gathering. They will never have money for drugs. This is safe. That's what this is. How many has he built till now? 1.5. 1.5 so far. Have I ordered the MTG 40k Commander decks? I am trying to get them, but again, love nor money. I'll do what I can. Alright, cool. So we're going for number 10. So, a number 10 backpack. Look, I'm going to end up building these off stream. I know I am, because there's just so many to build. I'm not going to get a chance to build them and spray paint them all on one stream. It's not going to work. But if you guys want more building streams, I think painting streams could be a nice one for. Plitz, what are these points even for? That's a good question. So, back when I played RuneScape mostly, I used to spend lots of my RuneScape time doing farming. In fact, if I ever stream RuneScape again, all I'm doing is farming runs, and I don't care if you don't want me to, that's what we're doing. And I would grow strawberries. It would just be a thing that I did in RuneScape. I would just grow strawberries. And people were like, hey, you should use strawberries as your channel points. Once you finish a build, what do? I paint them. Most of my models are painted. You can go on my Twitter and find out. You can legitimately go on my Twitter and find a lot of painted models. I do paint my models. Strawberry Locked Iron Man. Man's playing RuneScape like it's Stardew Valley. I'm slowly becoming interested in 40k. Oh, Iruntus. I hope you enjoyed your bank account while it lasted. Can we all just collectively agree, though, that I have been streaming for 1.5 hours and the entire focus of that stream has been this Warhammer? Mr. Taxman. The title of the stream isn't a joke. Alright? This is a business expense. When me and Callum play Space Marines versus... Not financial advice, obviously. When me and Callum play Space Marines versus Tyranids, and when I win 1.5 hour and 1 Marine... Yeah, 1.5 hours and 1.5 Marines. I didn't say I'm a fast builder. How much is a box of Space Marines? This box of Primaris Hellblasters, I think, was 30 quid. So, these are £3 a Marine. Like, it's not... Do we get a tax write-off or just Josh? I'm picky. If you ask, like, the government nicely, I'm sure that's fine. Money is wasted on mechanical keyboards. Ah. Bless me. I've saved money by just, buying a really shit keyboard and using it all the time. Okay, cool. Here we go. We've got that one done. Thank you for saying bless me. We're going with 10. Ooh, do we give him... Of course we give him the one with the thing, the loop. I'm not doing the stupid... Every gun needs the loop, the blue one. This is what we need. So, 26 to 25, 26, 27. 13 and 14 should be added together. 25, 26, and 27. Where's 25? 25A? Interesting. That one. 25... What's 25A? That's very strange. How is there an A in it? 25... 42C. What the hell? Interesting. Okay, 25. Let's go with that one. It doesn't say 25A. It's probably Ultramarines. Hello. Look, right. Ultramarines are the best one. How dare you? Shut up. 25A. That's what we need more of. And I don't think it would be any different on this sprue over here. No, 25A still. Alright, well, you know what? We're going to risk it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be absolutely... You bought the starter necro kit. Good job. Ultra Smurfs are nerds. You're a nerd. You're not going to be saying that when I'm killing you, are you? Does 25 have a... Yes, it does. Oh, this is fine. We'll go with this one. This is A-OK. Probably going to build one more. Then we will head off for the night. I normally only stream for about 2 hours. And the reason for streaming for about 2 hours is I talk a lot on these streams. You may have noticed. But I talk quite a lot. So 13 and 14 together to glue these things. Where's 13 and 14? Where are we? There we are. But I talk a lot. And unfortunately, because I talk so much, I can only stream for about 2 hours before my voice starts to give out. I could stream for a lot longer, but if I streamed for longer, then I wouldn't be able to talk anywhere near as much. Yeah, so I would rather have a... Oh, there we go. I would rather have a much shorter but more intense stream than just dragging it out for like 4 or 5 hours. Just don't talk. Easy. Spike, that was the first thing you've ever said in this stream, and I think, you know what? I think you've just dictated this stream's future. Here we go. If you aren't going to talk, can you at least wear the Skyrim hat? That's as much as you can hum without Bethesda copyright suing you. I really hope someone joined the stream right then. Right there, immediately. That was the moment. Someone joined. French fries, I love the fact you've got the little Kiwo emote going on. The little trash boy bouncing left and right. I'm so confused. Oh my god, he sung the Skyrim song. Can we have the Dawn of War soundtrack? You know what? I wish we could. I legit wish we could. I might, at some point, look into streaming on YouTube instead of on Twitch, because apparently Twitch is just hemorrhaging people that stream. But yeah, if I could stream on YouTube for a bit, I think the actual the rules of streaming on YouTube are so much more relaxed than streaming on Twitch. So I will at some point look into the difference on them. Right, where else are we going? The 24, so 27 and 26. Is this the same as the first one that we did? Right, is this exactly the same, 27 and 26, as the frickin' captain that we made? Because we made you. Yeah, that was the captain. And the captain was... Oh, no, that was 20... Yeah, 25, 26, 27. And this one is 25, 26, 27. But this dude is actually shooting with the gun and not holding it up. Interesting. Okay. So this guy is more shooting the gun and not holding the gun up. What a really weird, strange way of putting that together. Okay, cool. Where are we going to next? Josh Strife Hums future channel. Yes, I would love to just glue the arm differently. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's more strict on music and copyright, but Josh doesn't really... That's true. I don't play much music anyway. Got to wear protection when cutting plastic. I mean, I have had bits bounce off into my eyes before. Oh god, the keyboard needs cleaning. No, it doesn't. Look at that. Okay? Look at that. I mean, yeah, granted, if I were to do this, yeah, you can see the difference. Look at that gamer funk right there. That's the... What that is, that's the grip. That's performance dust. That's go faster dust right there. That's Cheetos and Mountain Dew combining together. My head is really big, says Lick It. Mate, okay, you're going to need to sub on the highest level of Patreon if you want to see me licking my keyboard. Don't do that. I know there's someone in the chat that's going to do that right now, and I'm going to get a message on Patreon being like, do it. Lick the keyboard. No, you can't make me. It's gamer grip. That's what it is. Is that keyboard from 2008? No, it's from at least 2002. So 25... I also need 27 and 26. So 27 is the pipe and 26 is the backpack bit. 27 and 26. Where are these pipes and backpacks going to be? 27, 26. That is 12, 52, 35, 26. There we go. That's the correct backpack that we just need. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this within the camera range, but I know that I keep falling out of camera range because I'm bad at this. That's 26. And 27 is a tiny little pipe, but I cannot, for the life of me, see where... Oh, there it is. It's under the number 27. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, the number bit 27 being under pipe. Yeah. Okay, cool. We're on the same page now. I am picking up what you're putting down. It's working. We're doing a-okay. I think it's going to go like this, these two being together. I'm going to glue this pipe first because I tried doing it last time and it didn't work. It absolutely did not work. So we're going to get these pipes glued together first this time, and you know what? If I need to bend them a little bit from where I glue them, then I just bend them from where I glue them. Has anyone noticed the mannequin staring at us? What's in the leopard print container? That is, if I tell you, you have to understand that I'm not sponsored. Has anyone seen all those adverts for that wild deodorant? The one that's not... the one that's got, you know, not using plastic and not using CFCs and stuff like that. The one with replaceable fills and stuff. Now, I'm not sponsored by them because I don't... Yeah, the polar bear adverts. Not sponsored by them, so I don't need to sell it to you guys or need you to go and buy it or anything. But I do legitimately use it, and I think it's really good. I think I've got the pine needle scent right now. The pine needle scent was really nice. Small Soldiers, mate. Yeah? Who remembers the film Small Soldiers? What a great film that was. Small Soldiers was a banging film. I remember that. Did you get the candy floss one when it came out? Yes, we did actually, Inju. Yes, we did. We've got the candy floss one. We've got the cinnamon scents one. We've got the pine needle one. Yeah, there were lots of actually really good flavours. I was genuinely impressed, but... No, so the leopard print container is just, you pop it off and it's deodorant. And the reason I got leopard print is because if I lose it, it's really easy to find. Because I lose things a lot. Thanks for the advice on why not get a gamer chair. Arcor, you're more than welcome. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I get a couple of messages every day, a couple of DMs from people saying things like, hey, I'm looking for a gaming chair. What should I buy? And the answer is very simple. Don't buy a gaming chair. Because you aren't getting anything out of it. Buy an office chair. Please buy an office chair. That's the best way to do it. Go into a shop that sells shop like you are the manager of a bank. Shop like you're going to be in that chair for 8 hours a day. Because gaming chairs look cool. They are not comfortable. They are not designed to be comfortable. They are designed for some 15-year-old kid to look at and go, oh my god, that is so cool. I'm going to buy that as a gaming chair. I'm going to be better at gaming. No, you're not. No, you're not at all. It's got no lumbar support. It's not got the squishiness. It's going to be hard as hell to clean, if possible to clean at all. It's going to be made of really low quality plywood covered in layers of thin cushion with some faux leather stretched over it. The stitching's not going to be very good on it. Please, like you say, Incubite's in the chat, spot on. If you buy a gaming chair, all you're going to get is back pain. You are not a gamer. You are someone who plays games and deserves a good chair. As soon as something gets branded as gaming whatever, they're relying on the fact that you identify strongly with a hobby over the fact that you're looking for quality. They think that you're identifying with the word gamer is going to give them a lot of leeway to provide you with a subpar product. Buy a product for a purpose. Buy a product intended for a purpose, not a product that's trying to appeal to your sense of kind of cult appeal to it, your sense of tribalism within your hobby. Not the way to do it. Unless, of course, you need clippers, in which case these are Citadel branded clippers because they clip better. Shut up, okay? Look, the advice I give is good. I don't always follow it. But I am aware that it is solid advice. Like, I'm a very wise man. I do not always make very wise decisions. That's the way to do it. Okay? When I walked into Games Workshop and they're like, do you need clippers? I'm like, I bet your clippers are the best clippers. I bet if you try and clip Warhammer models with other clippers, they actually just explode. They just melt in your hands. Yes. So just because I am wisdomous does not mean I follow through on said wisdom. It's the way to do it. Putting an office chair on my list along with yes. New mattress and new slots. Yes, please do. That's not a Game Workshop file there. No, it's not. This is a basic file from Amazon that I don't even use to file off the lines because I've got it here because it looks professional, but like I'm not going to use it. What was I doing? Right, 25, 26. I need number 26. Where are you, number 26? You've got to be here somewhere. 35, 43, 52, 26. Where are you? Okay, I actually can't... Oh, it's there. That's fine. I've already glued it together. Ignore me. I know what I'm doing. I'm now looking for part numero 24. 24 is an arm. All right, guys, let me know if you see part 24 anywhere. Is the doll behind you where you... Yeah, it is. So the doll behind me is where I keep the Skyrim hat. And I'm aware that you're obviously all staring at the doll, so don't worry. I'll sort it out for you all. See, the doll is now Dovahkiin again. Perfect. Now she's much less creepy. Okay, cool. With lipstick. Of course. 24 is right next to 25. Thank you, Pigo Boy. Oh, now I'm going to be able to find it. I mean, you joke, but legitimately, yes. Okay, 24A and 24C. Interesting. I'm going to go with 24A, seeing as that, I think, is the first time I've used it, so that would make sense. 24A, that would go to there, which would bring the gun to there. Yeah, okay, cool. So, let me get that to there. That goes round to there. Glues onto the gun. Yeah, I'm picking this up. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Perfect stuff. Alright, cool. Let's get the thing glued onto the back first of all, because this has got like a little slot where certain bits go. And if I get this glued onto the back properly first, it should give us a nice little slot to then work from and glue from. Who is my favourite faction in Warhammer 40k, and why is it the Adeptus Custodes? Okay, look, the Adeptus Custodes have got... They are the jocks of the 40k universe. And obviously the Imperial Guard, they're good, they're trying their best, but they ain't going to do anything, let's be honest. And the Space Marines, however, that's what you are. It's the middle ground right there. You know, they're not arrogant. I feel like you'd be able to hang out with a Space Marine. Like, an Imperial Guard would just be a little bit mentally broken. They wouldn't have any stories for you. They wouldn't, you know, be able to hang out with you. They'd be a bit too nervous. They'd be a bit socially awkward. The Adeptus Custodes would have that really holier-than-thou attitude. You know, they'd look at you and be like, yeah, you ain't even worth my time to talk to, kind of thing. But I think you hang out with an Ultramarine, they'd have some stories. They'd be a good drinking buddy. They'd have your back. They'd be your best friend. But apart from that, let's be real. The race you'd actually want to hang out with would be the Orcs. Okay, Orcs seem like they're just having a whale of a time. Orcs are the only faction in 40k who are just thrilled to be here. That's true. They are just absolutely thrilled to be here. They love it. They love life. They love life. They're embracing it. If 40k wasn't in a state of constant war, the Orcs would be unhappy. You hang out with an Imperial Guardsman, they're going to be complaining, they're going to be scared, they're going to be sad. You know, you hang out with a Sister of Battle, they're going to be just preaching religious dogma at you all the time. You hang out with an orc, you're probably going to have a really good time. He's probably going to have some fun stories to tell you. You're going to go on a war together. You're going to just have fun. Orcs are living their best life. I would say the Tyranids are kind of stoked, but I don't really think that the Tyranids know much of what's going on at all. Someone said, is there any class that everyone in 40k dislikes? Everyone kind of... Let's be real. We all hate the Tau. Like, everyone collectively dislikes the Tau. But if you had to actually join one of the factions, you'd probably hope to get the Tau. I think that they treat their citizens like both objectively and subjectively better than any other faction. That's just a fact. You can hate them as much as you want. You also know if they were... if you got drafted, you'd hope to be put onto a Tau homeworld that the war hasn't quite reached yet. That would be the best case scenario. You know, you get drafted into the Imperial Guard, you're gonna die. You get drafted into the Tyranids, you're gonna get resurrected as a Termagant. You get drafted into the Custodes, no you didn't. No one here made it into the Custodes. But yeah, I think the Tau are probably the most chill of all of the factions, and if you had to team up with one of them, you'd want to team up with them. I mean, the best case scenario would be being dropped into like a Slaanesh world. I think the best Slaanesh for the first month or two would be... What about the Eldar? I'm not worried about the Eldar. You know, once the Eldar get enough new models to stand up to anything that anyone else has got, we'll be okay. But I think if you were to drop onto like a Slaaneshi world, it would be fun until everything becomes real. Because the whole point of the Slaanesh is excess, but then they take away your ability to feel pleasure. Or, just, my boys, the Leagues of Votann. The Leagues of Votann, they would probably be pretty chill with you. They seem like they just want to hang out, have a drink or two, and do some mining. Alright, I can get behind that. Sweet. We'll go for that. Are the Tyranids running away from something? Here's an interesting question, and I watched a video on this. The Tyranids versus the Borg from Star Trek. I mean, because you'd all straight away be like, oh, Tyranids Borg, because remember, the Borg assimilate anything they fight, and then they become immune to it. So if you remember, in Star Trek, they shoot the Borg with a phaser, and the very first phaser hit kills a Borg. But then when they shoot another Borg, they've developed a phaser shield in front of them because they knew that attack was coming. So they have to modulate the phasers to go through the shields. But eventually they work out all of the modulation kind of frequencies, and phasers are completely useless against them. So the Borg do adapt as they start to assimilate people. But Tyranids also start to adapt. Tyranids do it biologically. So who would win? Would the Tyranids be able to adapt quick enough to the Borg, or would the Borg adapt quicker to the Tyranids? So, yeah, how many dead Borgs would it take before the Tyranid venom becomes effectively useless? How many dead Borgs would it take before they stop having to worry about being bitten apart like that? Are the Tyranids the Zergs from StarCraft? Yes. Yes, they are. Orcs and Nids are at a standstill, so that adaptation does have limits. Very interesting. The Borg don't adapt to physical attacks, though. That's also true. That's Captain Janeway. Let's not talk about the overpowered version of Captain Janeway. Let's go back to the one and only Star Trek captain of Picard. Okay, occasionally we'll take, Kirk, because I like Kirk's antics, but I think Captain Picard was one of not only the greatest Star Trek captains, but one of the greatest literature captains. Captain Picard was just brilliant as a character. So good. Sisko's good too. But Jean-Luc Picard, to me, do you mean Locutus of Borg? Yeah, look, if they can get Jean-Luc, pretty sure they can get a Tyranid. Alright? They really can. I have the same keyboard. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a Logitech keyboard. You don't need to have like some stupid clicky-clacky RGB covered keyboard to be a gamer. You don't need one. Alright, so we've got you done, and then we're going to, I want to say just like 28, 29. So So this is the Primaris Hellblasters 2A. So I'm guessing we just add a helmet to it now, and then some shoulder pads. Yes, a helmet. You know what's weird? It doesn't actually say put the helmet or the shoulder pads on. Ah, is that like all done at the end? That might all be, yeah. So 9 of those and 9 of those. You do all that at the end and then all that at the end. So we do all the bodies first and all the shoulder pads and things at the end. Ah, so there's one of these and then you do 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those. I get how this is working. I am picking up what you are putting down. I don't know that locutus you are talking about. Do you mean the cutest of the book? This has been a mighty relaxing stream to watch. Okay, Cam, how about this? What happens if you glue the wrong piece in the wrong place? So, forever, it's an interesting question. If you use super glue, not a problem at all. You can pretty much just immediately snap super glue off. That works. If you use plastic glue, you're in trouble. Because plastic glue actually melts both sides of the plastic, and then when it resolidifies as effectively a new bit of plastic. So it's difficult to do. Super glue bonds 2 things together, but it remains a 3rd layer in the middle itself, and given enough kind of tension, you can snap it in one go. Plastic glue, you cannot do that with. Draco, thank you very much for the gifted sub. Remarkably kind of you. Right, ladies and gents, I've been streaming for about 2 hours. Normally on Saturday, I stream for between 2 and 3. What I'm probably going to do is finish off building all of these, and the next stream will be painting them. Because painting, I'm going to get much more done in much shorter length of time. Gluing, I've got to really read this book. If I'm painting, I'm just going to be able to slowly start to add bits onto the side. It's like doing the crossword in pen. Yes, it is. Now, we are going to do the books next time. On ideally every Saturday, I want to do the fighting fantasy books on Saturdays. I've just done this today as like a test. I want to do the Tangent Tavern with Callum where we talk about stuff on Mondays. If we can't get a Tangent Tavern going on Mondays, I'll just do like MMO Mondays. Wednesdays will be a Dungeons and Dragons stream because we're doing Session 0 with the fantastic Callum Upton, Billy Tricks and Rage Darling, where we have our 3 intrepid D&D players going off on random one-shot adventures every week. And I might even do a stream on either Tuesday or Thursday, probably going to be titled Tuesday Tax Write-Off, which is where I have to do stuff that I want to declare as business expenses. So if I buy something and think, can I declare this as a business expense? Will my accountant allow that? I'm just thinking, just put it on a stream, use it for business, and then it's a business expense. I mean, so when someone walks up and goes, Josh, you claimed back for Elden Ring on your business expenses. Why is this? And well, played an Elden Ring stream. Can't play an Elden Ring stream without buying Elden Ring, can I? Therefore, business expense. So yeah, we'll work that out kind of thing. Got a particularly heretical Khorne Space Wolf Hellbrute, very nice. Will I be doing a battle report when I play against Callum? Yes. When I play against Callum, we will absolutely document and then dramatically reenact everything. So, ladies and gents, thank you for joining me. It's been 2 hours. Go and enjoy your Saturday night. Let me know what you're doing. Follow me on Twitter if you want more pictures of Space Marines or takes on MMORPGs. Do you get tax back on your Warhammer characters? If I use them in a stream, there's a potential that I might do. I'm going to have to argue with my accountant, but I think I should be allowed to. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I will see you Monday for either the Tangent Tavern or an MMORPG stream. Take care, good night, and God bless.